on the Big East's leading scorer in Bryce Cotton. It's Big East Conference basketball next. Welcome to ESPN's coverage of Super Tuesday. It's Big East Conference action as the Pitt Panthers face the Providence Friars from the Dunkin' Donuts Center in Providence, Rhode Island. Extremely important matchup in the Big East. Look at the top. Syracuse, Louisville, and Marquette have separated some, but there are 8 teams with 3 losses, including these Pitt Panthers, and Providence could pick up their 3rd victory with this one as well to tie Pitt in the Big East standings. So, John Saunders alongside of Tim Welsh, when you look at these 2 teams, especially you look at Pitt, they're a little bit schizophrenic, sometimes looking like the upper echelon, sometimes looking not.
Kind of like the rest of the conference with 6 teams at 3 losses, but Pitt trying to extend themselves, get into that next group just below Syracuse and Louisville. That's why this game's so important. Are they a have not, or a middle player? I think they're going to move themselves up in the standings as they move forward, and it's because as we look at the one-on-one tonight of their balance. They've got 10 deep, and they play 10 deep, 14 minutes all the way to 26 minutes every night in the Big East Conference. Balanced scoring, balanced minutes. That's what Pitt's going to do. They try to wear you out on all spots on the floor. And Providence, it's all about the guard play. When you talk about Bryce Cotton, one of the most improved players in the conference, leads the league in scoring and threes made, and his backcourt mate, Vincent Council, they play great together. Council's got to really look to distribute the ball tonight for Providence to get this win.
So let's take a look at the starting lineups, and as you look at Pitt, they have a big New Zealander in the middle by the name of Steve Adams, who's just a freshman, but a big impact player. Learning
his way offensively, John, but can be a problem defensively for Providence. They don't have a lot of size up front. Shot blocker, and look for him to get some dunks in transition.
The Providence lineup, we talked about the great guard play. They really go 3 guards, and Chris Dunn is a guy who's a defensive difference maker.
Starting to find his way into the lineup, had off-season shoulder surgery, really moving his way as an off guard now. Probably their best defensive player. Look for him to guard Woodall on a lot of sets tonight for Eddie Cooley.
This game promises to be pretty physical because both these teams want to get out there and guard you. Want to make you work for every possession. And we talked to both coaches, and both coaches, you could feel a little apprehension on each side.
It's amazing, though, John. They both said the same thing. I hope the refs call a foul on them because they grab on every possession. So both teams claim that the other team grabs on every possession. So it'll be a lot of clutch and grab basketball tonight, and good luck, officials.
It'll be like the middle of the octagon here, but these guys will be grabbing on, pulling jerseys. Saw that in practice, even grabbing onto jerseys, give a little tug. Get used to that, right?
Well, Pitt for years has played that physical Steel City type defense. That's why they've been successful. They do it the right way, and Ed Cooley's trying to incorporate that into this group. They don't have the numbers yet, but they're going to look to play fast and furious. Last couple games, they've done that. 24 turnovers against Villanova on Saturday in the win.
Pitt will go on the offense first, and the freshman Robinson will bring it up.
Right away. Chris Dunn guarding the ball as Ed Cooley promised. He's going to get up and harass Pittsburgh's guards.
Cotton out on Woodall. Robinson comes to the ball. Zana sits a high screen and then rolls off of it, passes it out. Shot clock is down to 8. Adams, little jump hook, that's good, and that is great news for Jamie Dixon.
And it's problematic for Providence because if they're going to play dead behind Adams, they're going to keep going into him. He'll carve out space. They're going to probably have to double him a little bit. He's not a good passer from the box.
Not usually that quick to look to score, but I guess with the shot clock winding down. Council, little jump stead, and look at that, Adams. What a factor with the block. Robinson takes it right to the hole, and he ends up getting blocked.
We talked about Adams' presence during the lineups. And he's going to stand in the middle of that lane. That's when Vincent Council, when he drives in, he's got to look for that pass. He's got to look back out to Bryce Cotton. On that last possession, he had LaDonte Hen wide open in the corner. Looking to score a little bit too much early for Council.
Council is a guy He's already averaging close to 7 assists per game, but he could probably do even better than that. Cotton, there's a step out there. Oh, and a nice little roll off the pick, but the pass goes awry.
We talked about Vincent Council, and that's what Ed Cooley wants. He'd like to see him up around 9-10 assists a game. You've got such a dynamic scorer next to you in Bryce Cotton. You have that ability just to run the team, do what Michael Carter-Williams does. 10 assists a game, that's how people recognize you.
You know, Council did average 10 assists in high school, so Adams left alone. And knock it down, it's good, plus the foul, and that, as you said, can be very problematic if they keep going to that big guy.
Well, you know, you have to play your hand. Here's what Providence is doing. They're extending out. They're really pressuring the basketball. And on that possession, not enough pressure on the basketball on the pass, getting up in the vision of the passer. So when you're spread out like that, Jamie Dixon sees that. They're going to isolate Adams one-on-one.
Council picks up the foul. Let me ask you this question. Adams averages under 7 points per game. You ever, as a coach, go in to a guy who's not scoring that much and say, look, tonight, you've got to have 18 to 20 for us to win?
Not normally, but Jamie Dixon is one reason he's almost won 80% of his games. He understands how to take advantage of mismatches.
Adams with yet another block.
Ed Cooley wanted a goaltend. I'm pretty sure that was a goaltend.
Zana shot well off the mark, and then the foul underneath Adams.
Well, the presence of the big fella in the middle, the great timing and awareness, and that ball looked like it was on its way down. Ed Cooley has beef.
Providence still looking for his first points. That's battling with Adams there. Dunn gets it, and he's double teamed. Double teaming the post again. Oh, nice little bounce pass. Adams over there, and he's going to pick up his second foul. And that is bad news for Pitt because Adams was off to such a great offensive start.
Oh, it's good news, bad news. You come up and protect the rim on everything, but also the lack of understanding and experience from the big guy, knowing he has one, that you can't go after something like that. You've got to take what you can get, but when you don't have the angle, especially with one foul, you've got to lay back, and now he'll sit down.
And Hinton puts him on the board. First time. Dante Taylor is going to replace Adams.
Well, good job by Providence. Ed Cooley's game plan tonight is going to be spread the floor. It's very difficult to run set plays against Pittsburgh's defense. They stay in tight. They give a lot of help from the backside. They pressure, ball screens tremendously. A lot of help to helper, but if you spread them and try to take them off the bounce, you have a chance.
Pressure on the ball, as we talked about. Oh, nice pass underneath to Zana, and Zana gets fouled by Hinton.
Well, this pressure started in the second half of the DePaul game, continued second half at Georgetown, and very successful against Villanova over the weekend. Just extend and use your quickness at the guard spot.
Entry pass from Robinson is stolen. Dunn with it. Dunn going coast to coast off the glass, no good. Zana with the rebound.
That was good push by Dunn, though.
Woodall. Oh, underneath Taylor, can't finish it. And Providence off and running again. Hinton swings it. Cotton.
This is the pace Ed Cooley wants to play, though. Kind of an AAU game. Get it going up and down, because they don't want to get in a grinded-out game with Pittsburgh.
Dunn splits the D and then tries for a little fancy pass underneath and commits the charge.
Well, that's where his inexperience sometimes shows. You know, you think that that'll be the case because he missed most of the preseason, all the preseason with that shoulder operation he had in the offseason. But he is a talented player and a good defender, but sometimes tries to make that little bit of a fancy pass.
Dunn's going to be a good assist man as well. He had 13 in a game earlier this season, which ties the freshman record for Providence. Taylor swings it back out. Patterson drives and lays it off the glass.
There's a mismatch on that play. Bats on Patterson.
Boy, is Providence out and running. I'm not sure Pitt didn't put that back in the goal for them.
Well, make or miss, but Providence fortunate because that was a forced shot by Council. Bats bailed him out.
This is Providence's first field goal. Ziegler double team. Providence really turning up the defense. Patterson drops it, gets it back off the glass and good.
Well, that's the issue for Providence. They're going to play fast. They're going to attack Pittsburgh from the perimeter, but it goes up on the glass. Their guards must give them some support on the glass.
Interesting to see when Cotton will start to go off, because you know that's about to happen at any point. Well, they're doing a nice job on him defensively. Woodall staying with him at that point. Jamie Dixon looks skyward. He looks up at a lead, 9-4.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by the 2013 Lexus LS and all-new LSF Sports, an entirely new pursuit, and DirecTV. Don't just watch TV, DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
With Pitt leading 9-4, and it's time for our Welsh Watch.
Well, we're going to watch something, John. And the key for Pittsburgh are their three perimeter players. When you look at James Robinson, Trey Woodall, Lamar Patterson, 3-to-1 combined assist turnover ratio, very efficient. Pitt's always efficient on both ends of the floor, but not as good defensively this year. Only 43% in the league field goal percentage. That's unusual. Not a great rebounding team, but offensively very efficient. They don't turn it over. They take the shot. They take what the defense gives you offensively, and it's balanced as well. You can't stop one guy from Pitt and say you're going to beat them because of their ability to pass the ball.
And their depth as well. As you pointed out, they have 8 guys who average 5+ in Big East Conference play. Council beats the step up, then tries to feed the post, and that ball's kicked.
The amazing thing is some coaches, you get a little tight. You play those games in November, December against directional schools, as our old friend Jimmy V used to call them.
Right.
But when you get into the Big East, you get a little tighter, the bench gets a little smaller, but Jamie Dixon continues to use his bench.
Oh, beautiful jump shot by Council.
And that's what Ed Cooley will take. A balanced shot, taking what the defense gets you, not off balance. Good play by Council.
Nice job to beat the press. And wisely pulling it back out. Woodall shot off the mark. Oh, comes right to J.J. Moore, and he just has to lay it in.
Well, Dante had been leaked out. He thought that they had secured the rebound, and Fortune had it, but then couldn't contain.
Council finds Henry. Gets it back to reset.
See how spread out Providence is. They're going to try to take Pittsburgh off the bounce.
Shot clock is down to 5. Down to Bats, who lays it in.
That's a perfect execution by Providence. Vincent Council, great leadership and delivery.
Ball stolen nicely by Fortune. And he pulls it back out.
Not often you can say your best two defensive players are freshmen, but Ed Cooley can say that Chris Dunn and Josh Fortune are very good defensive freshman players.
Bats with it now. Shot clock is down to 8 again. Fortune launches a 3 that's no good. Skying for the rebound. Patterson with the push. Woodall shot is good.
That's what Pittsburgh will do. They're an underrated transition team. You think of them as a half-court execution, kind of a grinded-out team, but against Georgetown, they ran them out of the building in D.C. a couple weeks ago with transition baskets.
Council with a nice split, but his pass is picked off by Patterson. Ziegler on the floor and then throws it back out to Patterson. Little ball fake and then goes in and foul. Taylor is the one who's fouled. Wednesday Night Hoops presented by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups features an ACC doubleheader tomorrow on ESPN. First and 7, number 1 ranked Duke facing 25th ranked Miami. Then at 9, Georgia Tech and North Carolina. It all begins tomorrow at 7 on ESPN. And also live on the Watch ESPN app. Duke back to being the number 1 team in the nation.
But Miami, number 1 in the ACC.
That's right.
Ex-Providence Friar legend Jim Larinaga leading the charges down there in South Beach.
Jim Larinaga has done a terrific job coming down there.
Well, he's a terrific basketball coach. There's never been any doubt of that. He just said, oh, Jim went south to fly with the Snowbirds. Well, he went down there to win is what he did. He's done a real good job.
It was nice to win in the warmth.
You had a choice.
The coldest day of the year here in Providence, we know that. Again, nice job by Pitt to make Providence work on every possession. Bats goes after the rebound, can't come down with it. And again, it's 1 and out of there.
Johnson gives him toughness on defense, but just too wild on the offensive end. Bad shot.
Moore's jump shot is off the mark, and now running. Cotton dumps it off, and a perfect play by Hinton as he lays it off the glass for his 4th point.
I really like Bryce Cotton. He does it all for Ed Cooley. 2-to-1, almost assist a turnover. Scoring, gets to the free throw line. Great distribution.
Moore with it. Robinson is an interesting player, freshman, but he's going to be a great scorer in this league. Shot clock is down to 5, and they got a long way to go. 2. Robinson releases nowhere near, and that's a shot clock violation.
A lot of people around Providence thought Council, Dunn, Hent were the key guys, but it's Bryce Cotton for the Friars. He's an improved player.
off by Miller. Goals ahead. Lane's on the other wing. He finds yeah! Sends it in, Jerome! This is amazing. Ripped it down. Bring it down and bring it home, Jerome! We're going to be a while.
This will be all over the country, Mike.
Sends it in, Jerome!
Jerome Lane of the Pitt Panthers. It was January 25th, 1988 at Fitzgerald Fieldhouse. That was Bill Raftery and our friend Mike Gorman as well. But Raft, he should have patented that or something. I mean,
royalties, I know he's still trying. He's hired attorneys from New Jersey. Now he lives in Florida. He's trying to get someone to take the case that you have to pay me for that call. It's been on the air so many times.
Raf has had many great calls over the year, but it's tough to top that one. That game was delayed 32 minutes. And back in those days, there was no studio analyst. So when they went back to the studio to fill that 32 minutes, I think it was Bob Lee who was in the studio. And it was a lot of work. Great ball movement. Kadeem backs with the finish. He has 6.
John, that's what you have to do against Pittsburgh. You have to throw the extra pass. They're so good on help. Sometimes because of their inexperience at spots this year, they're not good on that third helper. Providence, good recognition.
Woodall, nice pass into the middle, and then getting fouled was Duran Johnson as he releases that shot.
You can't be tight against Pittsburgh. Expect to score, and you're spread out and willing to throw the extra pass and slide into the open areas. You can find some gaps against that tight D.
Hinton picks up his first foul.
Again, we talked about the numbers. You know, in the Big East are not Pittsburgh-type numbers. They're solid. They're good and better as of late in their last 2 minutes. They're rebounding the ball better, but in the league, only a +1 on the glass, and they're 43% field goal percentage, and traditionally over the years, under 40. So there are gaps in that defense if you're willing to spread and kick and throw that extra pass.
Team fouls 4 for Providence, 3 for Pitt. Still ways to go to the bonus.
I think Ed Cooley's done a nice job of mixing and matching his defense, and clearly Adams out of the game has helped them attack the rim, but good job of spreading. Now Pittsburgh going to a little 2-3 zone from their own end.
Oh, the lob, but unfortunately they can't convert it off the fingertips of Hinton. Just a little bit out of his reach.
A good idea. They know there's gaps in the back with no big fella from New Zealand back there, and Pittsburgh played a lot of 2-3 in the game you had, John, on Saturday against Connecticut. It really helped them in the second half.
It did. It was extremely effective. Zana comes up to set the screen and then rolls off of it and is alone. Hesitates, and Hinton gets on his back and picks up his second foul.
Probably just got to make some adjustments on the pick-and-roll defense. You know, when a guy like Woodall and Robinson, they can turn the corner, but you can't stay that long out on the perimeter with Lamar Patterson. He's not going to be a guy that turns the corner. You show and make sure you recover. He's not going to pop from behind the screen very often, but you can't let Zana just run down the middle of the lane on the roll to the rim.
Now, he misses that free throw, but as a coach, would you have liked to have seen him go up with it and try and dunk that rather than that pump fake? Because I think he's looking at a three-point play.
No, I don't think there was any resistance back there at all. I think they were going to give him the dunk, but he kind of hesitated, and hence 2 misses.
Come away with nothing. Done with it. Pitt struggling from the free throw line, 2 of 7. Moore loses the handle. And then Providence does him a favor and turns it back over the other way. And Ed Cooley immediately goes to his bench and brings Fortune back in.
Well, they want to run, and they're playing very hard on the defensive end of the floor, but they have to make sure they get the ball in their ball handlers' hands, and that's Council. Now, in that possession, he ran away from him. He's got to make sure he comes back, settles everything down, because if there's nothing there, they've got to run good offense because they have the ability to score.
Woodall Swings it over to Moore, and Moore's jumper is good. Fortune to Council. Into the middle of bats. Back out to Fortune. He thinks about the shot, then drives and turns it over. Robinson, well, he runs into all kinds of trouble.
The last possession, Pitt went to their side. Pick and pop. Look forward again for Moore on the wing.
Woodall back out to Patterson, whose three is good.
Right now, Pittsburgh's got Providence back on their heels. They're running their sets. They went to side pick and pop, and then they went back to that play. Providence gave a little bit too much help. Good throw back to Patterson, who's wide open.
And this zone is giving them problems as well.
It is. They've got to try to spread it out and attack from the wing off the bounce. Don't throw it into the middle where Johnson can't do anything with it.
Fortune's three is off the mark and no good. Zana comes out of there with the rebound.
Quick settle by Providence.
Nice job by Council to get up in the air and steal that. And then ahead to Bats. Bats drops it in. That will make up for not being able to get through that zone. Get out and run. Back here in Providence, where the Pitt Panthers have a 6-point lead. Under 8 minutes to go here in the first half. Pitt a 3-3 team right now in the Big East. Providence at 2-4. Pitt has looked extremely good at times this year. And you get the feeling they're one of the teams for Jamie Dixon that's going to get better each and every game. By the end of the year, they'll be one of the top teams in the conference.
They start the two freshmen, so it's a good formula to keep improving as they get more minutes.
Travel against Moore as he caught that loose ball after Trey Woodall threw up the air ball. It'll be Providence basketball when we return.
Our ESPN College Basketball Studios. Big Ten battle in Madison, Michigan State at Wisconsin after the steal. Look at number 31 run the court. They call him the Ginger Assassin in Madison. Mike Bruzewicz drilling the three-pointer, and Michigan State has just hit a three of their own. They're tied right now at the Kohl Center. Over on ESPN, South Carolina and Mizzou all tied as well. Missouri without Lawrence Bowers and without Keon Bell, and Ohio State leading Iowa at the break. Back to the Dunkin' Donuts Center.
All right, Chris, we'll join you and Jay at halftime, and you can get us up to date on all of those contests. The Ohio State Buckeyes have looked extremely good. You watch that victory over Michigan, and I think Michigan, top to bottom, is clearly one of the best 5 teams in the country. Providence doing a nice job hitting the glass, and then Zana goes out of bounds with it. He actually hit the deck and the ball touched him.
That was good special coming out of that timeout by Ed Cooley. He said the inside screen opposite for the overload had bats inside just struggling a little bit to score because of their lack of size.
Cotton with it.
Somehow against this zone, they've got to free Bryce Cotton up, maybe get him running through the defense. And get him lost and then go right to him, because he's a guy that can light up this building with quick threes.
Like that? That would be what you call on cue.
Sometimes you get lucky, John. The old whistle comes back out and you get lucky. Well, they were talking about that practice yesterday, so I'll admit that. Ed Cooley talked about it ad nauseum. He ran a great practice. They worked on that play.
That's his first shot of the game. Hard to believe for leading scorer in the conference. Oh, nice ball movement. Zana with the pass down to Moore.
Well, the faces change, the names change, but the system does it, and that's what Pitt does against the 2-3 zone. They go high, low, dive across. Textbook zone offense by Pittsburgh.
It's Goldsboro on the floor, and then a three-pointer off the mark by Council. That might have been a little quick. Oh, that is what you call too easy. Lamar Patterson just had to finger roll that one off the glass.
They didn't get back and set. Providence did a good job in the half court most of the night, but on that transition, said Pittsburgh just saw the gap. Providence didn't react.
Cotton and Council into the middle of the Bats. Bats jumper off the mark. Dunn almost had the rebound, saved by Goldsboro, but out of bounds.
I like Bats in that high post area. He's a capable passer. He definitely can make that shot, but while he's standing there like a statue, Pitt knows where he is. He's got to get a little bit more movement and flash into that area where Pittsburgh doesn't see him, where he can make that turnaround shot or put it on the floor and get to the rim, where he's a very good player.
And pressure on the basketball. Zana open, shot is short. I believe Zana is the leading scorer for Pitt, but in the last 3 games, he hasn't yet hit double figures. So his scoring has really come down. Nice steal by Zana. He's going to go coast to coast and lay it in.
That's a freshman being a freshman. Chris Dunn, not experienced yet, lack of practice time. Got to get the ball back to Council. Don't try to skip it against this defense unless you ball fake first. Chris Dunn's a little gas right now. Eddie Cooley will see that, get him out of the game. Against Pittsburgh, in order to make cross-court passes are okay, but you got to draw that backside guy in first with a ball fake into the high post area. Then you can skip the ball. If you telegraph it over the top, that's what'll happen.
Send it the other way. Go down just as another Providence turnover. That's their 8th here in the first half. There's still 5 minutes to go.
Providence wants to press, but the problem is they're not scoring, so they can't set their press up.
Woodall lobs it into Taylor. Puts it on the floor, tries to reverse it, no good. Hinton comes out of there with it, and Council with the push to Cotton. Cotton high, no good, tip back up. The Bats can't get it to go either. Just about every pass has got hands in the lane at both ends of the floor.
Providence has been very active defensively, and that time it was a good rush to the rim, and Cotton just a little off balance on the finish. The pick and pop again.
Woodall into the paint. Sends it back out. Robinson buries a three-pointer.
Well, Pittsburgh doing to Providence what Providence wanted to do to them. Spread them out, drive into the gaps before they rotate backside, drive and kick for open shots.
Again, Bryce Cotton, the leading scorer in the Big East. He's taken just 2 shots today. Glass, no good by Council. Zana, too strong, rebounded, stolen by Council, and then he's fouled by Taylor.
Well, Pittsburgh wants to drive you into the gaps, get you to rotate one side before you rotate on the backside. The drive and kick for the freshman from DeMatha.
Bristol coming up on the Land Rover halftime report. I'll be joined by Jay Williams. We've got a Big Ten battle in Madison over on ESPN. Michigan State and Wisconsin, and it's a good one right now, just a 1-point game. And Jay will break down the Tide's 4-guard offense. Alabama and Kentucky tip at 9 o'clock. Second game of our doubleheader on ESPN. John, we'll see you at the half.
Chris, thanks a lot. Anytime Jay Will is going to break something down, I'm tuning in. What do you think?
Well, I think Ed Cooley would like his cell phone. That's what he needs right now. He needs somebody to break down this.
Right? He needs
a
Jay Will
guard to break down this defense. You know, somebody to bounce, get it into the gap so you can drive and kick and get Bryce Cotton open for an easy look.
Council goes up and just has it stripped by Woodall.
That's what upsets Ed Cooley. Just no pass offense and turnover.
Woodall with it again. This is a 15-5 run for Pitt. Ziegler. Floater way too strong. Rebounded by Fortune. Sana almost comes over the steal. Cotton, three-pointer. No, that's just a deuce. It's good.
Bryce Cotton needs to go introduce himself to Vincent Council and say, I'm over here. You got to let me touch the ball once in a while because I can do that all night long. If he gets open and his feet set, he has got deep range and consistent range.
So there's a reason I'm averaging almost 22 points a game.
Basically, his numbers have been steady even through the Big East. Very solid. He's had a tremendous season.
Shot clock is down to 5. Woodall has to go to work. Pulls up. Some shot a little strong. Rebounded by Cotton. Cotton's going to take it all the way to the goal. Dances it down, plus the foul.
When Vincent Council missed 10 games early in the season, Bryce Cotton played the point, and everyone was panicking. Oh, no, we don't have a point guard. Well, you got a point guard if you need one, because this guy can do a lot. Not only distribute the ball, but he does that as good as anybody. Finish in traffic and shoot threes.
Up and down the floor, as fast with the basketball as he is without it. Pittsburgh around the perimeter. Woodall down to Zana. Almost stolen. Nice little lead in by Trey Ziegler. Ziegler, of course, transferred out of Central Michigan, whose dad had been the coach there. He was an assistant at Pitt for some time, and that's why Ziegler decided to come back to Pittsburgh. Council, back out to Cotton. 3 is good.
Well, Edley should take the clip of that last play as we see Trey Woodall got bumped around there, and he's going to say, that's what I've been talking to you about all day long, Vincent Council. Drive, draw the D, and kick it to the top three-point scorer and score in this conference. Because that's how you beat Pittsburgh's defense. You can't keep the ball on one side of the floor. You can't pound it in the ground. You've got to drive, try to draw the defense and kick it back out and hope you can make shots. Now they have a guy who can make shots as good as anybody. And you look at Cotton's games, he's kind of a unique player in the fact that he's a three-point shooter. 2/3 of his shots and his makes come from the three in the league. But he gets to the free throw line as well. So he's not just your typical guy who's going to hang on the perimeter and become soft. He's a guy that also will do a lot of different things offensively.
I think you're going to take a look to make sure that's a 3. As they pulled it within 7. ESPN's Journey to the Tourney is a season-long spotlight on games that will impact the tournament. Our journey continues Thursday night. Battle in the Pac-12. UCLA facing 6th-ranked Arizona. ESPN's Journey to the Tourney Thursday night at 9 Eastern on ESPN. Also live on Watch ESPN. Of course, Sadiki Johnson's a transfer out of Arizona.
John, I think clearly this is a 3, but I think they're looking to see what happened over on that backside over by the Pitt bench to Trey Woodall, if there was in fact some sort of flagrant elbow that knocked him down to the ground.
See, I wondered that when I saw Jamie Dixon and Trey Woodall looking at the officials as if to say, you know, come on, an elbow to the face. Now, the question is, was it a basketball play? If it's just a basketball play, then it's a play on. And that, to me, is a basketball play, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely, but, you know, in today's day and age where they go to the tape and they're so worried about calling this play, I mean, clearly there's vicious fouls with the elbow, and then there's plays where the offensive player has to have some sort of room, and I think that's what, you know, I think Jay Bills was talking about it over the weekend in game day about defenders. People are teaching the defense to get up underneath the offensive player, knowing that if he swings his elbow, it's a foul or a flagrant. So how is he supposed to get away from the defensive player? You've got to, you know, the swing through is something you teach in skill development. So
you have to be entitled to some space.
I would say this, you know, you don't want to see the elbows thrown, but can't, as a defensive player, get right up in a guy's throat or put your nose up underneath him when he goes to drive, not expect something's going to happen. So I would say that is a basketball play, but
they're explaining it to
Ed Cooley doesn't look happy, so I'm not sure we're correct.
No, Ed Cooley does not. Flagrant 1. Flagrant 1 is what we are being told by the officials.
No, I don't agree with that call at all.
I don't either.
And that's why the game is becoming what it's becoming. I mean, you're allowing the defensive player, the offensive player, what is he going to do? Vincent Collins, he's just stepping through and trying to get away from the defender. How is he going to make a move? What is he supposed to do? If you stand straight up, he gets closer to you. I don't agree with that call at all. Just because contact was made, I think that's a basketball play. And you wonder why, you know, the big discussion over the weekend, and Game Day had a great discussion about it with Mark Few and Brad Stevens and Jay and Digger and the whole crew, Jalen Rose. Why scoring's down? Well, that's why. Because the defense has all the advantage. They can push, they can grind, they can get up underneath the offensive player. I mean, Vincent Council made a good play there. He tried to get away from the defense. He swung the ball through, and he's got a flagrant one.
Clearly, as you say, clearly to me looked like just a basketball move. He's swinging the ball, not swinging his elbows. If you're swinging your elbows into somebody's face to clear space, right, it's a flagrant one. But officials did have a look at it. They looked at it on the monitor, so it's not like they had any question about making the call.
So you teach fifth graders in the skill development to pivot and swing the ball through when you want to go baseline. You know, when the ball's on the left side of your body, you want to go right base, you've got to swing the ball through your body. The only way to do that is have your elbows are attached to your arms and the ball. So that's what happened there, and I think that was a bad call.
Done with it. Cotton. Boy, is he heated up. That is a three-pointer again. 13 points for Bryce Cotton.
Well, if that continues, Providence will get back in this game. And the other piece of that is they've got to somehow keep the ball out of the paint, keep it on one side of the floor a little bit better on containment.
Bancroft up there on defense. Swing back out. Robinson. Now he's double teamed. Dumps it underneath. Loose ball. Zana's got it. That ball's tied up. Possession arrow favors Providence.
A good piece of hustle there by Providence. And the walk-on, Ted Bancroft, he's giving Ed Cooley some quality minutes over the course of this season as a feisty defender, a guy in the press, sticks his nose into play, not afraid to tie up the ball. Providence feisty on defense on that possession.
Now shot clock off, so Providence will take it down for the final shot.
Let's see the Cotton moving through the defense, drive it into the gap from the wing and look opposite.
When do they go? At 10?
They've got to go soon, because you got to go a little bit sooner against a zone than you would against man-to-man.
Done, cut off. Cotton into the middle. Now that ball's tied up. Great job by Robinson to get his hands on it. So now it's Pitt basketball with 2.4 seconds left.
That was a good piece of defense by Pittsburgh. Cotton tried to make something out of nothing there at the end of the clock, which was his only choice, but Pitt swallowed him up.
I understand the philosophy. You want to get off that last shot of the half, but very often you tie your hands when you do that, well, especially against a zone.
Right, you know, they need to ball screen a little bit and get the ball moving from side to side.
ESPN College Basketball available live anytime, anywhere on your computer, tablet, or smartphone at watchespn.com and with the Watch ESPN app.
We'll see if Providence puts a little pressure on just to contain and get out of here down 7, which wouldn't be bad because of their struggles offensively. And second half, make a couple adjustments, getting Cotton the ball, maybe change some defenses, and Providence can get right back in this game.
There's Bancroft out again on the ball, and he almost comes up with the steal. What a tremendous job by Bancroft, and that ball belongs to Providence. So 0.5 seconds, the Friars will have a chance to score.
Well, don't ever neglect to have walk-on tryouts, because you never know when a Ted Bancroft will show up in your gym. One of those guys that just likes to scrap and claw, doesn't need anything but a uniform. And there, the play that won't get on SportsCenter, won't get in the box score, but could help you win the game if they score on this possession.
Oh, that's a tremendous play. All he did was time his jump.
Got to try to free Cotton up here. Maybe a little double screen coming ball side or a stagger coming ball side.
Cotton tries to get free. He can. The shot is released by Fenton, but Hinton's shot is no good. And the half comes to an end at 34-27. So the Providence Friars with some work to do at home. Right now, let's go to Chris Carter in the studio with the Land Rover halftime report alongside of Jay Will.
Thank you, John. Jay Will is here. Land Rover halftime report going on over on ESPN. Nice Big Ten battle. Wisconsin hosting number 13 Michigan State. Bo Ryan getting his charges ready to go. Slow start offensively for both teams, but Jared Berggren here is going to hit the jumper and get fouled on the baseline.
Just taking advantage of that 6'11" height down low in the block. There's nothing the defender can do.
Now watch this in transition. Wisconsin is going to get out. Take a look at number 31 in the far court there. That's Mike Bruzewitz.
And take a look at number 5 and number 35, both of the bigs. 25, Derek Nix just run down the middle of the gap. Nobody flares out.
No, Denzel Valentine's going to miss the dunk here. It's eventually going to get into Keith Appling's hands, and he's carrying Michigan State right now.
He's the one guy that has to get going. He had 15 points in that last one they had over Ohio State.
10 at the half right now. Here's Bruzewitz again, a big guy, 6'6", spotting for three.
A little bit late, and you got to be able to close out on your bigs.
Jay Will is here. It's the Land Rover halftime report along with myself, Chris Cotter, and it's 28-27 at the half. Badgers with the lead. And Wisconsin is never going to score a lot of points, but that doesn't mean they're easy to defend, does it?
They're a smart basketball team, and what they're doing right now is they're attacking Derek Nix in screen and roll situations, and you're going to see on this tape how they're breaking him down. They get him involved in this screen and roll right here, Trayvon Jackson, and Derek Nix is guarding Jared Berggren. He doesn't know whether to leave him or whether to stay. And also down low, Adrian Payne is playing Mike Bruzewitz outside the three-point line, which forces him to be outside, leaves the gap wide open. Once again, involved in the ball screen action, and Derek Nix is just in no man's land. He has to understand he's guarding a guy that has a great touch from the three-point line. And then in transition, watch Adrian Payne and Derek Nix. There's a tendency for big men to run directly in the block, directly towards the paint. And when you play against Wisconsin, Mike Bruzewitz and Jared Berggren, they don't run directly down the gap. They flare out towards the three-point line. If you're not quick enough to get out there, they're going to be able to knock down threes.
What does Tom Izzo do here at the half? I mean, does he go with a smaller lineup, a smaller, quicker lineup, or does he just go with what he has and he gets in the face of Derek Nix and says, you're going to have to get on this guy?
I think you have to have Adrian Payne at the 5 and move Brandon Dawson over to the 4. And also another key for Wisconsin in this ballgame, they only have 5 turnovers, but 3 of those turnovers have been just being lazy with the basketball, being a little bit lethargic at the top of the key. What happened? And Bo Ryan, this is what he teaches. Being strong with the ball, making a ball fake, down fake, looking off the defender, and then you throw a crisp pass, and that's how you get an assist. If they're able to do that, you like that pass, don't you?
I was just shocked that I didn't go crashing into another camera.
But if they're sharp with the basketball, instead of that being a turnover, that leads to an easy layup. And that's the kind of action that they run. When they're sharp, they're efficient. When they're lazy, that's when they turn the ball over.
All right, that game's over on ESPN right now. The second game on ESPN, they'll tip it just about 9 o'clock, is Alabama and Kentucky. We're going to talk about Alabama's unique offense and what's enabled them to win 3 in a row in SEC play coming up.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Wendy's. Now that's better. watching the Land Rover Halftime Report.
Oh, I love it, Jay Will. I know you're a big fan. X Games Aspen kicks off Thursday. Snowboard slopestyle. It's Sean White, the best that's ever been, against Mark McMorris. He's the best there is right now. Then in snowboard superpipe, Sean White begins his quest for an unprecedented 6-peat. He's going to top even Jay Will's record. That action starts Thursday, 3 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. If it's cold, you might as well enjoy it with a little X Games. Stat Modern, Ohio State taking on Iowa. Late first half action. Ohio State leading by 5. Deshaun Thomas knocks down the 3, putting the Buckeyes up 8. But it's usually been all Deshaun Thomas.
Yeah, Deshaun Thomas in that last game they lost, he had 28 points. Nobody else had 7 or more points. But this is big, getting other people involved for productivity on the offensive end.
Kevin Ravenel there with the bucket. Then at the line, he's going to miss the free throw, but here's Lenzel Smith Jr. with the putback, and the Buckeyes were rolling, up 12 at this point. Up big again in the second half. Smith Jr. going to take the shot. He's going to miss, but here's Thomas with the tip in.
For Ohio State, 8 players have scored already. That's the kind of diversity we need.
So Buckeyes are rolling. Kentucky and Alabama, 9 o'clock tonight on ESPN. Alabama, they run an interesting offense, don't they, Jay?
Yeah, they run a great offense where Anthony Grant has gone to having 4 guards on the court. When you have 4 guards on the court, that provides so much more spacing. And Musa Gay is the only guy down low, and he's not a post player. He's more of an active screener. You're going to see him down low at the block, but all 4 guys are spaced above the 3-point line. It's a lot of dribble handoffs, a lot of on-ball screens off those dribble handoffs. You see right there, he rejects the screen. Rodney Cooper has the ball up top, throws the ball to Trevor Lacey, involved in the ball screen. And look, one dribble, stop, picks up his dribble. Trevor Lacey with a great head fake, gets his man in air, one step, knocks down the 3. Now, let's talk about their run and jump defense. They're so good at doing this. You're going to see them miss a shot. And look over at the upper hand part of your screen. Trevor Lacey just lingering around, taking his time, throws you off. If you're not paying attention, they get quick steals, okay? Once again, great job switching here. Rodney Cooper stays on top of his guy. Musa Gay comes over from the weak side for the block shot. And simple penetration, forcing the defender to help. You take your eye off a guy like Trevor Relaford right here. He's able to get the ball, a little step through, gets him right towards the lane for easy lay-in. And offense to defense, you beat one guy in a handoff, you turn the ball over by trying to beat another guy. They're so quick at pushing the ball. That was a game against Texas A&M where they were down 15 points. All of a sudden, they got right back into the ball game. The last 3 games, they have been forcing teams into 17.5 turnovers per game due to the fact after they score, they're right into their run and jump defense.
What is Kentucky? What are they going to have to do?
Well, they have to take care of the basketball. And also, you wonder how Kentucky's going to play this game here. If Kentucky goes big with Nerlens Noel and Kyle Wiltshire, let's remember Willie Cauley-Stein, he's out due to that knee injury. All right, then they have to play a guy like Nerlens Noel or Kyle Wiltshire on the perimeter guarding Andrew Steele, which could be detrimental to them. So maybe look for them not to have a guy like that step out, and maybe a guy like Jarrett Paulson play a lot more minutes tonight so they could be smaller and quicker on the perimeter.
Well, speaking of the SEC, we've got another matchup going on right now over on the U, and it's Mizzou struggling with injury right now. Lawrence Bowers still out of this game. They've got some other injuries to deal with, and right now it's South Carolina with the lead at the break.
This halftime report is presented by Land Rover. Above and beyond. This halftime report is presented by Land Rover. Above and beyond.
Second week of the Aussie Open coming up immediately following Big East action. It's Serena Williams. She continues her quest for her 16th Grand Slam title. She'll be going up against fellow American, 29th seeded, and 19-year-old Sloane Stephens in quarterfinal action. That's coming up on ESPN2. Take a look at the men's bracket. Of note here, immediately following Serena's match, Andy Murray will go at it. That'll be about 10:30 Eastern tonight on ESPN2. And then at 3:30 a.m. approximately, that's when Roger Federer will take to the court there at Rod Laver. Second half from Providence coming up.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by the Lincoln Motor Company.
Welcome back to Super Tuesday here on ESPN. Pittsburgh with a 7-point halftime lead over the hometown Providence Friars. John Saunders alongside of Tim Walsh. And it's interesting because we've got the physical game we expected. But what we've also seen is that this Pitt team is a team, despite their half-court presence, they can get out as well.
Well, they like to run. You know, they've got the athletes to do it. And, you know, the team that gets the best shots win these games normally. And that's what Pitt, why they're ahead. They've got easier shots. It started in the half-court, but also in transition. They got up and down the court a little bit. Providence couldn't get into their pressure because they couldn't score. And Pitt took advantage off the glass. Providence, though, turned it over a little bit. Unnecessary turnovers. When they settled down, they were fine in the last 5 minutes of the half getting Bryce Cotton the ball, and that's what they have to do. Continue to look for him and be patient, not try to score on the second, third pass, but really probe that defense when they are in the half court.
Bryce Cotton really heated up the last 10 minutes of that first half. You see the 3 of 3, three-point range. He's the top three-point shooter in terms of number of threes made per game in the Big East. Over 3.5 a game, on his way to topping that today. Khalid Batts with 8 points. So Dunn puts it into play, into the hands of Cotton. Near the post. That swings it out.
Sherrod Cooley had a long talk at halftime. Keep getting this guy the ball in a scoring area.
Heading with it. Shot clock is now down to 5. Cotton splits the defense. Oh, nice little bounce pass. Council gets fouled.
Well, reverse roles. Usually it's Vincent Council at the end of the clock with the high ball screen, drive into the gap and make that special delivery. But Bryce Cotton, he spent those games when Council had the hamstring injury at the point, clearly benefited from that. Nice job on that play of distributing. Hopefully his backcourt mate will pay him back as they move forward, because they can be really good together if they keep looking for each other.
Yeah, both guys capable passers. Council especially, although Coach Ed Cooley, as you said, would like to see him get that average up just a little bit more.
The middle part of the first half, Providence wore down in their man-to-man defense a little bit. They have to be careful. I think they'd be better served to mix and match and play a little bit of zone this half against Pittsburgh just to keep them off balance.
Adams, who had to spend a good part of the first half on the bench because he picked up a couple of fouls, back on the floor and back battling in the middle. Robinson weaves his way to the baseline, spins it back out. Patterson shot just a little bit too deep.
Might have been the best defensive half-court set Providence has had all night. Great help, great presence, good rebound.
Providence tried to get out and run, but Council was cut off quickly. Council paint, floater is good.
Space is necessary to score against Pittsburgh's defense. That's what Providence is trying to do. Attack on ball reversal, find those angles, a little teardrop.
Ball with Cotton right on him, swings it to Adams. Adams away from his comfort zone. Woodall to Zana. Zana tried to get the floater, and Hinton had the rebound. Last touch by Pitt.
Well, Pittsburgh keeps going to that pick and slip or pick and pop on the wing, kind of a two-man game.
They reverse that. Last touch by Providence.
There's some cranky fans.
I heard that after the call, and I was like,
I recognize some of those voices.
You would, wouldn't you?
On this call, I think I knew where the call was going.
Having coached here at Providence for 10 years. Woodall comes up and drops in a 2.
That's what Woodall will do. Just a nice pace to his game. Just takes what the D gives him.
Dunn and Cotton back and forth. Tried for the entry pass, picked off by Patterson. Robinson to Zana.
The dreaded live ball turnover again. Chris Dunn, a promising player, but just tries to deliver with a little bit too much on it. Got to be more solid.
And again, getting sloppy. Hinton that time just took his eye off his man who reached in.
Against Pitt, you can't throw the ball inside. You got to kick it back out against that D because it just swallows you up in the paint, and they will do that when you try to get too fancy.
That's 3 fouls on Hinton, too. So that's going to send him to the bench. And Sadiki Johnson comes in.
Pittsburgh's defense just teach them to come and attack the ball in the paint. So you've got to drive it in and then kick it back out.
And Dunn right out in the pocket of Robinson. Patterson into Zana. Back out, Woodall with it. He'll reset. Patterson. Oh, tough shot. He got bodied and still got that ball up. 13 now for Patterson.
It's like a Coke machine. Hit him on the outside. A great screen by Adam. Just come out and floored Providence on defense.
Back to a 10-point lead for Pittsburgh. Bats. Johnson now turns, tries to duck under, has it swatted away by Zana. Shot clock is at 7. Oh, my goodness. Bryce Cotton with a skip to my Lou. Straight through everyone.
I don't know how he found a seam there, but he kind of slithered through it. Found his way to the rack, the three-point scorer. Not afraid to go in there amongst the trees.
Adams is fighting hard to get free. Rolls off the ball, swings it back out. Robinson in for a closer look. Shot no good. Adams with the rebound. Robinson again. This time too strong. Adams with the putback, no good. Johnson clears it. Council gets fouled from behind by Robinson. We got an 8-point game. Jamie Dixon and Pitt with the lead right now. We're going to check in with the studio and Chris Cotter.
John, we got a great game going on over on ESPN at the Kohl Center. Wisconsin and Michigan State. You can see the Spartans with a 3-point lead, about 12 and a half left to go in that one. And tonight's a great night to have that Watch ESPN app. You can be watching Louisville and Villanova, or third-ranked Kansas take on 11th-ranked Kansas State. It's on the Watch ESPN app. In our game, Panthers by 8. More from Providence after this.
John Saunders alongside of Tim Welsh. Pittsburgh with an 8-point lead. Late in the first half, we had a flagrant 1 foul. And I mean, we can question whether or not we think this should be a foul, but as the officials explained to us, they can't question this. This is automatically a flagrant.
Well, anytime there's contact above the shoulders, which it clearly was there, they have that ability to call that. It's an automatic if, in fact, they think it's not a basketball play. The defender has the right to get up underneath. The problem I have is not with the call so much, but the rule. I mean, it does not give the offensive player much opportunity to clear the defense.
It also doesn't give the official any leeway to make a decision as to whether or not that was the right play, because they have to go to the monitor. As soon as they see the contact, they must make that call. So that's an interesting way to look at it. We've got an 8-point game here in Providence. Wednesday Night Hoops, presented by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, features an ACC doubleheader tomorrow on ESPN. First and 7, number 1 ranked Duke faces 25th ranked Miami. Then at 9, Georgia Tech taking on North Carolina. It all begins tomorrow at 7 on ESPN, also live on Watch ESPN. Two big battles in the ACC. Including the top team in the ACC against the top team in the nation. Not the same team.
Not the same team, but Miami, newly ranked Miami.
13 turnovers for the Friars, accounting for 18 Pitt points. So that's something they're going to have to clean up if Ed Cooley's squad hopes to come away with a win. Patterson goes to the corner. Woodall tries a tough pass underneath. Perfectly converted by Trey Ziegler.
Boy, that was something out of nothing. Providence was very solid in that half-court possession defensively, as they have been all this second half. But Woodall, the veteran.
I didn't think that pass could get through. Oh, nice drive. Comes right back to Bats, and he sticks it up and in. Kadeem Bats. First shot got knocked down, got it back, put it up and in, and now we've got an injured player on the floor for the Panthers.
Well, who said the Patriots
more
and Steelers were out of the playoffs? It looks like a little war inside, a lot of bumping and grinding. And Ed Cooley wanted something here, but looks like Bats just lost his balance, and Johnson flying in there as well. But Bats, staying with it.
The elbow right to the face of Moore.
And again to the monitor.
Now this is going to be
and again, John, you and I were talking about this during the break, going back to the council play in the first. As a coach, these guys are doing a good job trying to officiate the game by way of the rule book, but it gives these guys a little bit of an out. Especially with council play in the first half. He's standing there on the wing, one-on-one. There's two officials within 10 feet of him, and they didn't call the play until after they went to the monitor, and they were both looking at the play. So too many delays, too many trips to the monitor. But that's what the rules say.
Yes, exactly. They have to go to the monitor, and if they see it there, then it's an automatic call.
Providence in their pressure, a little full man. They'll run and jump occasionally out of this. Look for them to mix and match it, maybe go to a little bit of zone, although their man pressure has been pretty solid this half.
Patterson pulls up with a jump shot. A little bit deep. Chases down his own loose ball and goes right to the hole. Offensive foul, though.
Well, Ed Cooley told us before the game, John, that Kadeem Bats may be one of the top guys in the country of just giving up his body. And tremendous play there by Bats. He went all the way from the top of the key, defending the ball screen on the retreat, got into the lane, gave up his body. This is a big-time play by Kadeem Bats. One of the most improved players on Providence and in the Big East. Here, just staying in there, stepping in, getting position, giving up his body.
I think Ed Cooley says he believes he's the best in the country for taking the charge.
He's pretty darn good. It's hard to teach that. You got to have guts and heart. You always want all your players to be able to do that, but Kadeem Bats just kind of quietly does all the hard hat stuff for Ed Cooley. He's had a real good year.
Friars have stayed with Pittsburgh, but have not really made that run. Get right with him. Look at that by Bats. Both ends of the floor.
Taking it at the big fella. It doesn't matter. He carved out space. Little drop step, fake middle, took it right to the chest. And the guy from New Zealand who backed away.
He's worried about picking up that third foul. That's 12 for Bats. Dished in the middle where Ziegler lost it. And the foul off the loose ball. Zana got fouled.
Kadeem Bats is a guy you could throw the ball to on the low box because he has good presence. They'll run some misdirection on the outside, and he's a capable passer. Threw a nice pass at the end of the Villanova game after accepting the double team. Won the game with a 3 out to Bryce Cobb, but that time took the big fella one-on-one.
5 points for Zana. The foul was on Bats.
Oh, I really like Bats. Bats and Cotton are two guys that have done a tremendous job improving their game, their will to play defense in the system, and great team players for Ed Cooley.
Ziegler stepped up and almost come up with a steal. You can see when you watch these two teams, you can understand why there's such a logjam in the middle of the Big East. Cotton shot as he tried to draw the foul, no good. Chase back down, Council has it. He thought about a three.
There's the veteran presence. Run some stuff, get the ball to Cotton.
Council weaves his way in. Underneath Johnson twice. And he comes loose. Cotton with it.
The scratching claw Friars. Just in there, grinding it out in the paint.
Council again weaves his way in. To Bats! What a pretty pass that was.
Oh, the ability to distribute, recognition, draw the D. Bad backside recovery by Pitt. Tremendous dish and finish.
Out of bounds is Robinson.
Well, a great way to get this crowd alive is to play plays like this. First scratch and claw to get the loose ball, and then the delivery, the recognition, slow recovery on the backside by Pittsburgh. That's what you have to do. Make the extra pass.
Council talking his way all the way up the floor. After looking at Ed Cooley and getting the call on the floor, that hit the foot of Adams. That ball was touched. Timeout on the floor. Providence making a run within 6.
Back in Bristol, a couple of close games across ESPN networks. Over on the U, South Carolina's Michael Carrera is going to... Oh, nice little move on the baseline here. The up and under, putting South Carolina up by 13, but Mizzou's on a 15-2 run to tie that ball game. Then over on ESPN, Michigan State and Wisconsin. This is a close one as well. Michigan State with a 2-point lead, about 7:22 left to go in that.
Chris, thanks a lot. You got Jay Will working on anything back there for the rest of the night? Is he going to sit on his hands the rest of the night? Put him to work. We got a good one here. Council to Cotton, gets it back.
Troy Ziegler's up at Cotton's grill. He's going to stay with him. He's a good defender.
Bats, floater, spins around and drops.
Well, Bats made the bucket, but Council made the play. He's starting to play like a point guard.
And the pressure forces the timeout.
Well, coming into this season, a lot of people thought Vincent Council was a top 5 point guard in the country because of his numbers and his ability to create off the bounce, his strength, his vision, his leadership. Hasn't shown it consistently this season, but this half, he's come out with a new look, and Bats can finish.
Look at Cotton and Bats accounting for 31 of the 40 points.
Well, Council's so important because you know Cotton can do things. He's going to do them. Bats has been rock solid all season long as a toughness guy, a finisher, just keeps his mouth shut, plays tough, makes all the plays, the dirty work stuff. Doesn't really have anybody with him up front that's consistent, but Council is the key for Providence. If he can play like this, run the team, be consistent, they can be a player as this Big East season progresses.
They pressure the ball on the inbounds, back it off a little bit, but still Cotton picks up full court. They've not gone to Adams like they did in the early part of this game. Ziegler too strong. The putback is good by Trey Ziegler.
That's where Johnson and Bats got to clear out some space. They're just getting driven under the rim on that possession. Now Pittsburgh trying to change the pace of Providence offense, going a little 2-3 zone.
Well, this gave Providence problems in the first half.
They can't hold the ball and run their offense out 30 feet from the basket. They got to attack the wing, reverse the floor, get that guy the ball where he can score on reversal.
You got Sadiki Johnson sneaking through the middle of that zone as well. Council, good! Jamie Dixon not happy right now.
Well, this is not their base defense, but it's been semi-successful for them this year. And in the first half, it was very successful because Providence didn't move the ball quick enough. Now, on that possession, they got it going from side to side. They ran Cotton through, and then on reversal, just found the angle, kind of a little rub screen by Johnson. That's all Council needs. He needs a little bit of space, and then he can either find people or make something happen for himself.
A nice job of squaring up on that shot as well.
Well, when he's solid, he is a tough out because he's got a nice medium game. You know what he can do as a passer and ball handler, but sometimes he just gets a little wild and starts thinking that, you know, the problem is sometimes when you play with a guy that all he did was score like Marshawn Brooks did a few years ago, break all these scoring records, and he gets drafted. He says, well, I got to score all those points so I can get drafted. But there's other ways to get drafted, and Vincent Council could be an NBA player if he becomes a real good point guard and a leader.
He's good. He's got a great NBA point guard body. Got the strength. The size is pretty good.
Well, tonight he's done a good job, and Providence defense has been real good in the second half of their man-to-man.
Adams battling down, gets it from Ziegler and back out to Woodall. Shot clock at 8. Patterson drives and finger rolls it off the glass.
Pitt, give Pitt all the credit in the world. There was nothing there for a good 30 seconds, but they waited and waited until they found that weak side curl. Providence did not rotate. Pitt, good recognition.
What would you like to see Providence do against this zone right here?
You got to get it down to the wing or maybe down to the baseline just to flatten it out. They're running this 2-guard. Maybe get it into that guy right there.
Council. He's been the zone buster last 2 trips.
Well, Bats in the foul line area can be dangerous as well because he can make that shot, but you can't just plant him there. You got to get the ball moving and misdirect the defense, get the defense moving before you try to get into the gaps.
Patterson puts it on the floor, but Bat steps out. Adams turns, and drops it, plus the foul. Kiwi with 7 points.
That's made a good move because you want to put that guy on the line because he's only a 32% free throw shooter, but just a hair late. When you're that big, if he gets into his motion, you're not going to bring him back. Should have just let him go.
Yeah, it's okay to put him on the line, but not for an and one. Adams got off to a tremendous start in this game, but then picked up a second foul early and had to go to the bench.
John, we talked about the depth, and Pittsburgh clearly has 10 players.
Now this is a little scrum here out on the floor. You can see that about to happen. The ball just flying all over the place. And it's going to belong to the Friars. Just a frenetic up and down pace. You could see that was going to happen.
Well, what I was about to say before we started twisting our neck back and forth with the action is that, you know, we know that Pitt plays 10 players, their depth, they're going to use their depth. Providence doesn't have that ability. So they've got to be careful a little bit. They expended a lot of energy to get back in the game, mostly on defense system. Make sure that their defense stays solid. They may want to lay back in the zone just a little bit just to give themselves a little breathing room and also Pitt a new look.
Hinton from the corner, and he has the range.
Head coach says, no, we're not going to play zone. We're going to keep attacking. This is what got us back in this game. And why not? There's only 8 minutes to go. We're going to keep attacking.
That's what he said before the game he wanted to do. And it's starting to work now. Adams spins, jump hook, not even close. Unfortunately, everybody for Providence was standing around. And Talib Zana comes up with the ball.
We talked about your energy that you expend, and Providence has left everything out here in this second half in their man defense. Been rock solid. Their offense have been at a frenetic pace. They've shared the ball, but right there's where you can see a little bit of energy is lacking on the glass on the backside. That inability of that third defender to get up on the boards.
Talib Zana averaging almost 12 points a game, the leading scorer for Pitt, but the last 3 games he has not hit double digits. He's at 7 points right now.
He doesn't seem as confident shooting that nice mid-range jumper.
Cotton for 3, no good. And now Pitt gets out on the break. Ziegler, too strong. That's with the rebound.
Pitt back to man.
Fortune on the wing. But a beautiful jumper by Hinton again. The lefty just buries it.
Well, John, he can light up in a hurry. He scored 24 in a row at Brown earlier in the season. So Jamie Dixon better get up on the lefty from East Lansing.
24 in a 36-point game against Brown. Unfortunately, it didn't end up in the winnings bracket.
Well, he hasn't had much of a game since, and Ed Cooley was saying, I just want you to shoot. You've got to make one. You've got to keep shooting until you make one. And when you have that smooth stroke, it's about confidence. And maybe it takes 1 or 2 to get yourself going. If he can add this to what Cotton and Bats do, got some weapons out there for Providence.
Back to a 2-point contest, and from the 3-point arc, Providence 4 of 10. Pitt's only taken 5, made 2. Every trip so important in the Big East. That's true in every conference. But with the depth and the number of teams in the Big East.
Well, Jamie Dixon, his last trip to the lovely city of Providence.
Headed to the ACC.
We knew it wouldn't be easy, and Ed Cooley's made it difficult.
Well, it's not exactly been a welcoming committee every place they've been going. Oh, what a tremendous three-point shot by Durant Johnson.
Jamie's used his timeouts very well. He only has one left, so he's tried to keep this crowd out of the game. Ed Cooley's got the guy 3 timeouts in his pocket. Look for him to use them just to give his team a little bit of a blow.
Council turns the corner. Nice little pump fake off the glass. 16 for Council now.
There's the guy that Providence thought they had coming into this season. He's starting to feel himself as a distributor, now as a scorer as well.
Doing a great job defensively. You see the hand right out. Robinson has been relatively quiet in this game. Big battle underneath. Crowd wants Adams to pick up a foul. Oh, and a tremendous job by Trey Woodall. His 7th point. Comes at a critical time.
You got a fresh player playing against a guy who barely has come out of the game, and sometimes that'll catch up to you. Two, 3. They've got to get the ball down to that mid-wing area and then attack from there.
Caught into the corner, hitting again. Not this time. Woodall just hangs on to it. Now weaves his way into the paint, spins, drops it off. Moore up again. Moore with 2 shots at it, saved underneath. And a foul committed by Moore. 5-point game with just over 5 to go here in Providence.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Ram Trucks. Guts, glory, Ram. And Wendy's. Now that's better.
Big East action going on over in Philadelphia, Wells Fargo Center. It's Louisville and Villanova on Watch ESPN. Look at Daniel Ochefu. Nova breaking the press. Ochefu with the dunk. That gave Villanova the early lead. Nova would come back, though, in this one. But Peyton Siva here driving. Lands awkwardly. Now, he would leave the game. He would stay on the bench, though, so hopefully it's not too serious. Right now tied, 25 each. 3.5 minutes left to go in that one. That's on Watch ESPN. Over on ESPN proper, Michigan State with a 4-point lead over Wisconsin. 1.5 minutes left to go in that one. That's a good one. Ohio State rolls over Iowa. John?
Chris, thanks a lot. Keep an eye on that one for us. Yours, of course, to stay at number 1 didn't last very long as Syracuse got them. See the points starting to be spread around a little bit better, but still only coming out of 4 players.
Well, I think their offense has been fine. They're in a little bit of a rhythm, playing with some confidence now, especially with Henson making a couple shots and Council mixing and matching his game.
Their problem, Providence, as they move forward, is going to be on the glass. They got to make sure they just secure the rebound. Their defense has been good, but they've got to finish the possession on the boards.
And the pressure on the ball comes from Woodall. Good. Ball on the floor. They're going to call that a tied-up ball. Possession arrow is to Pitt. That was a tough pass.
Yeah, it was probably something they need to go away from. I mean, they try to run a set play. And they've been better off running a little spread offense, letting Council kind of make plays on his own. That time he tried to do what the coach told him, but when it's not there, you've got to make it go away from it.
Well, and Hinton won the ball up, too.
Right, exactly.
He went to him and said, give me the ball up.
They're trying to run a special, probably for Cotton coming off the screen on the weak side.
Patterson puts it on the floor, pulls it back out to Zana. Zana short. Hinton doing just about everything right now. Council ran into nothing but blue jerseys. Cotton, and he's fouled.
There's the unique game of Bryce Cotton. 2/3 of his shots come from beyond the arc, but when you take that away, he's not afraid to stick his nose into anybody that gets in his way. And here, the nice play, kind of the shovel pass back, and then the quick little hesitation takes it right at Zana and draws the foul.
Zana's second foul. Cotton with 16 points now.
John, you've seen him forever. The great three-point shooters, with all their points come from the outside as far as field goals, 2/3 of them. Very rarely do they get into the paint. But this guy has got the three-point game and loves to go to the rim as well.
Oh, tremendous quickness. Woodall ahead in the pack. Lob to Zana. Too easy.
Providence has to be solid. They're not going to steal the ball against Pittsburgh. They just got to make him work a little bit harder. Don't gamble. Good recognition by Pittsburgh over the top.
Should mention we got word that Chris Dunn, the freshman guard, is not going to come back in the game as Hinton's shot is off the mark. He was ill. Good job. Good job by Bats to get back and break that up, but that would have been back-to-back easy buckets for Pitt. There's Dunn. He's not feeling good, and Ed Cooley told us the flu had pretty much made its way through his clubhouse. It's not good when you see the jersey up over the mouth.
Oh, no. Don't give it to anybody else. That's what you're hoping.
Woodall. Bounce pass to Zana. Oh! Rejected. It looked like Fortune got most of that. There were a couple bodies going at it, but Fortune comes in and says, big guy, get it out of here.
Coastal. What a game we have for you on ESPN right now. 10 seconds left. Wisconsin has the basketball, trailing by 2 against Michigan State, a team that has performed very well at the Kohl Center. So 10 seconds left. This one's coming right down to the wire. There's Nerlens Noel averaging over 9 boards per game. Kentucky and Alabama, both teams off to 3-1 starts in the SEC. That game's coming up next on ESPN. And then following Pitt and Providence on ESPN2, Serena Williams and 19-year-old fellow American Sloane Stephens. Quarterfinal action kickstarts a full night of action at the Aussie Open on ESPN2. John?
All right, Chris, thanks a lot. Look forward to that. We'll head down under. A little tennis action. The Australian Open, the first of the Grand Slam tournaments of the year. Pitt with the lead, being very careful with the basketball.
Pittsburgh going small here late in the game with the lead.
Patterson, oh, what a quick drive to the hole.
Well, Patterson playing that wing spot along with Moore. Have a smaller type lineup for Jamie Dixon. More athletes, better spacing, took him off the bounce.
17 points for Patterson. 9 different Panthers have scored in this game as opposed to 4 for Providence. Council wanted to find Batts. Drops it off to Cotton as the shot clock goes to 7. Cotton, step back, jump shot no good. And a foul underneath going after the loose ball. It's like Talib Zahn gets in.
Well, Providence continues to run their ball screen action and the roll and replace, but the replace man might want to look at Cotton flashing up from that weak side, see if they can find him a little bit off that screen.
Cotton. He thought he got hit as he released that. And then another foul underneath.
Well, I like that play call by Ed Cooley. Kind of a misdirection with Batts putting his big body on Cotton's defender. They have to continue to do that. Watch Batts. He sets a nice down screen. This is a special coming out of the timeout. And Batts, good screen there, kind of a rub screen on Ziegler. Gets a little bit of space. And the thing about Cotton, he doesn't need much room. He has such quick elevation and a quick release and deep range. You just got to find him a little bit of space. That's why I put him and Batts on the same side of the floor and just let Batts put his big body down on Ziegler or whoever's guarding Cotton.
17 foul on Pitt, so that's 1-on-1 with the miss. Batts with 16 points and 8 rebounds tonight. Patterson has had a terrific game. Woodall thought about the shot, swings it back out to Moore, and Moore buries a 3. Puts the lead back up to 10.
Well, that's the problem when you play Pittsburgh. It's, John, they get the lead late. It's a slow death. You know, they kind of work the ball, and then their depth comes through. They'll wait until you make a mistake defensively. They run the clock down here to 12, and you see the veteran Woodall. They space out on the weak side, and Moore, one of those important bench guys with the depth, fully fresh, squared it up and knocked it in.
7-0 run for Pitt. ESPN's Journey to the Tourney is a season-long spotlight on games that will impact the tournament. Our journey continues Thursday night. Battle in the Pac-12. UCLA against 6th-ranked Arizona. ESPN's Journey to the Tourney Thursday night at 9 Eastern on ESPN. Also live on Watch ESPN. An interesting year for UCLA.
Won 10 in a row and got clipped over the weekend by Oregon. Just quietly.
They started off so slowly.
Emerged.
But they find themselves.
That league is clearly improved from a year ago. Not where it was 4 or 5 years ago, but Sean Miller, Ben Howland, Dana Altman, all with quality teams. See Providence go into Batts. They haven't gone into him in a while.
Council's 3 is well short. Cotton chases it down.
Batts did a good job of posting up. They need to look for him a little bit.
Splits the D. Floater up is good.
Again, Batts made the play. Something out of nothing. Cotton delivered, but he set the screen.
gets fouled by Batts. That's 4 fouls on Batts. Not that it matters at this point in the game. It's not going to send him to the bench. Minute 47 left.
That's a good possession for Providence. They speeded Pittsburgh up, made the clock stop with a bad free throw shooter on the line.
Adams, Big East preseason Rookie of the Year. It's going to take some work because where he played in New Zealand, as Jamie Dixon told us, wasn't really much of a league.
He's had a solid year, though. He thinks a little bit too much on the offensive end, but you saw his quick fouls tonight, but he continues to work and develop.
Not to mention he's got a great coach to teach him. He's going to get good. Oh, nice back cut. Hinton can't finish it. Fortune, three-pointer is good. Friars getting back to within 6.
Well, they hustled on this play just after the miss. And Fortune, this is what he was known for when he came in. Hasn't had the success from the three-point line, only 30% on the year, but he's got a good stroke, deep range.
So you're going to continue to speed up the game?
Well, absolutely. You got to try to see if Pittsburgh will make a mistake. It's so hard against Robinson, Woodall, and Patterson because they're rock solid as ball handlers. They don't make mistakes. They understand the system. They're going to get organized against the pressure. Providence, I like what they did on the last possession. Force it out of their hands, put it into Adams' hand, just hack him. But Jamie Dixon's not going to allow that because he took him out of the game. So he understands he's got the best offensive skill guys in the game right now. They're going to spread the floor, see if Providence will make a mistake. If not, they're just going to use clock.
And there's Bancroft, the walk-on again, who forced that important turnover near the end of the first half. Council rather with the foul. Team 6, so they're 1 away from the bonus. And the pressure. A little triple team in the corner. And then Moore off his hands, but last touch by Providence.
They flooded the zone, as you would say in hockey or football or whatever, because Zana was wide open, but Providence was really attacking the ball. Bancroft feisty at the top of the press.
Bancroft again right there. Ball tipped loose and stolen. Cotton's got it. He's got Council with him, but Cotton takes it himself. Down to 4.
Real feisty, Pittsburgh, real tight against this. They need to spread out.
Robinson and Woodall pull the string back out, which is, the foul by Bancroft.
Now Providence got to play this game. They got to try to lengthen the game. And there you see Cotton with the steal, but Bancroft created it with the reach in and just made a nice play in traffic. This is Ed Cooley's feisty bunch on the defensive end of the floor. Bancroft comes in. He did at the end of the DePaul game. He was good in the press in the Villanova game. He's a designated presser.
With one-on-one is miss. Pitt is 10 of 19 from the free throw line, and to make matters worse, they commit a foul themselves. Don't forget the Australian follows us. Serena Williams against up-and-comer Sloane Stephens, who promises to have a tremendous career. She's got to get past Serena if she hopes to go on here in the Australian. Serena's the number 3 seed this year. But it doesn't seem to matter where she's seeded. She's a favorite, right?
The best always rise to the top. Now here Pittsburgh, John, on that last possession, they had open players up the floor, and then they finally broke the press. They had a 3-on-1, and that's where I think you have to make the defense play. They have good enough players just to attack and score and go to the rim. I know they're trying to pull the ball out, but then you're putting pressure on people to make free throws. 3-on-1. I'll take a 3-on-1 over a 1-on-1 anytime. They've got to make Providence pay.
Oh, Bats rims that one out. He is 17, but still a one-possession game. 45 seconds to go. Woodall almost lost it. Dunn gets right out on him.
That's close to 5 seconds right there.
Sure is. And Jamie Dixon calls a timeout. His final timeout. Let's check in with Chris Cotter with a 3-point game here in Providence. Chris?
John, the slugfest at the Kohl Center has gone the distance. Michigan State outlasting Wisconsin 49-47. Keith Appling leading all scorers with 19 points for the Spartans. We got a good one in Columbia, Missouri, just trying to come back, fighting back on this one on ESPNU, trailing South Carolina still. And Serena Williams and Sloane Stephens, you mentioned it, coming up on ESPN2, quarterfinal action in the Aussie Open. John?
Chris, great night of college basketball all around, including right here, the Dunkin' Donuts Center in Providence. Got a 3-point game with 30-plus seconds remaining. Jamie Dixon just called his final foul to avoid a 5-second call.
Yeah, it was
maybe
darn
got
close.
a broke, right?
Well, Chris Dunn must have had some vitamin OJ because his flu is gone suddenly. He's back in the lineup, but he really was harassing Trey Woodall. He was out of the game, we thought, with flu-like symptoms. We saw him over there with his jersey over his face, but when you cut the lead to 3, everybody's energized and feeling a lot better, including this crowd. And now it becomes, what do you do? And I think Providence has played it out to this point. They might as well play out the possession and see if Pittsburgh will make a mistake. They look a little rattled right now. They've got to get the ball in Woodall's hands because he's the veteran, the savvy player. He's the guy that's experienced and will make the play at the end of the clock for Pittsburgh.
16 seconds on the shot clock.
Remember, Pittsburgh can throw the ball into the backcourt, take some time off the clock. See how Providence reacts if they trap or play straight up man-to-man.
They do go to the backcourt, although Providence tried to deny Woodall.
We're going to run a ball screen here for Woodall. Let him make a play.
Woodall pulls up from the free throw line and hits it. Cotton tries to answer back. 3-point shot is good.
Well, this is the danger of letting the clock run down and not fouling. When a guy like Woodall's on the opposite team, he'll make the play under control against the freshman. But when you have a guy like this, sometimes you can play it out and wait for 11 seconds to see if Pitt will panic. It's been a gritty performance, John, by Providence. I mean, Pittsburgh has the depth, they have size. They've got a lot of experience out there on the floor, a lot of winning experience. But a gritty night for the Friars to get back into this game. It looked like they were dead in the water. This pressure has bothered Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's going to put their ball handlers into the game. The deep pass will be there. It's a matter if, in fact, they want to go deep. Now, the other element to this is the arrow is pointing to Providence. So Ed Cooley's got to tell his team, be aggressive to the basketball. Don't foul right away. If they put the ball out in front of your face, try to grab it, go for the tie-up, because we have the possession arrow. We'll get the ball back.
Just 11 seconds, though. If that doesn't happen, we know we're going to see a quick foul, and that is where Pittsburgh has struggled.
Now, Bancroft is a pain in the neck up on the front of that press. I mean, he's just harassing people. They're going to try to force the ball to the corner and get a quick trap and maybe a tie-up or a steal. Then they can't fool around. They have to foul.
And remember, Pittsburgh has no timeouts remaining. So if they have a difficult time getting this ball in, They're going to have to put it into play or turn it over. Into the hands of Robinson, and they have to foul him quickly.
Oh, good scheme there by Pittsburgh, staying spread out, making Providence think. They were face guarding everywhere on the floor. Bancroft doing a good job on the ball, but Pitt, a veteran team with presence, understanding Patterson, running the baseline, changing the angle of the pass. It's an easy inbound to Robinson. So many teams forget you can run that baseline, and it's such a thing. You can use them at your advantage, and that time Pittsburgh, they knew what they were doing against that pressure.
Robinson, you see on the season, a great free throw shooter.
Robinson's got about 25 family and friends here. His mother grew up in Rhode Island, so extra pressure on with a little family in the crowd.
Well, that's great for him. So he played in the D.C. area, DeMatha, obviously. So he's got a couple of home courts. Oh, and that's when you got a nice touch. When it almost goes out sideways, it comes back in.
Might have snuck into this building when he was a little guy. Right to the rim for Cotton. Try to get a quick one.
Council, they got to shoot it. Cotton lets it go, off the mark, and that's going to do it. Jamie Dixon with a handshake for Ed Cooley as Pittsburgh comes in and picks up their 4th Big East victory of the season. Our final score, 68-64, coming up next, the 2013 Australian Open. For Tim Welsh, I'm John Saunders. For all of our crew here at ESPN, good night from the Dunkin' Donuts Center in Providence, Rhode Island.